What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Doctor's Lounge, the coffee review show for the not so average Joe. I know I've been away for a while. I actually just got back from a conference in Puerto Rico, and I've been listening to a podcast called Explore the Space. Dr. Mark Shapiro heads that up, and one of his most recent episodes is actually about coffee and about the ritual behind coffee and about how it kind of permeates our culture, and it just reminded me that I really got to get back to doing these reviews. And luckily, after coming back from Puerto Rico, I have a new brew to review, and that is the Gustos Reserva Peaberry. And so this is a coffee that is actually from Puerto Rico. You can see they kind of include one of these cards here. I don't know if the camera will actually focus on that. Include one of these cards to tell you kind of where it's from. It's a shade-grown single origin coffee. It is washed. It's a medium roast. And they, expect you to have some chocolate and almond with complex acidity. We'll talk and see if maybe I tasted those same things as we get going here. But let's get right into the review of the coffee because we have a decent amount to talk about with this one. And let's start off with, like we always do, the aroma. So I will say that the aroma of this coffee had me very intrigued. I brewed it in my Chemex, had it all ground up. The grinds themselves have a little bit of as you're grinding them fresh, they kind of emit a little bit of a cherry, almost fruity sweetness to them. And that was very enticing and appealing to me. As you start to brew them, immediately you get this kind of rush of almost like a yeasty, doughy bread. And I was like, wow, this is gonna be really good. Kind of on top of a little bit of a smokiness. Let the coffee brew, pour it out, let it cool a little bit. And moving on to the taste, this is where I was a little bit disappointed and I think it fell a little flat. So, taste profile of this coffee, I'm someone who loves big, bold coffees that kind of have an evolving taste. Unfortunately for this coffee, it's extremely tight. There's almost nothing in the front or mid palate of this coffee. It's very flat. You're almost just tasting warmth. No like pop of citrus or any kind of sweetness or anything. And then it just kind of like middle way, you start to get a little bit of a chocolatey smokiness and then finishes really abruptly with just a bitterness. There's no evolution, there's no complexity. I mean, I've been, tasting it for a little while now, and I'm even letting it cool a little bit, waiting for some of that brightness and that acidity to come out, and it's just not there. So that fell a little bit flat. And for the price, I can't really justify that. We paid about $16 for a 1 pound bag. That is the same price as the Fio coffee that I just ordered after listening to that episode of ETS, which if you guys haven't checked it out, I'll post a link down in the description of the video. And that's a coffee that's going to be fresh roasted 3 days before you're receiving it. That's a premium coffee, and that's what you're paying. I'm expecting a premium flavor profile for this Gustos that I just wasn't getting. Which is really disappointing to me because in the store, the espresso that is being pulled is fantastic. So I'm kind of having a hard time rectifying how it's so good in store and then you get it home and the beans are a little flat. I don't know if that's just the roast that I got, the bag that I got, I don't really know, but it just fell a little short. In terms of the caffeine content in this coffee, it's good, it's okay. It's not gonna make you jittery, it's not too over the top. You will get a little bit of a boost from it, but it's not gonna be a problem for somebody who's sensitive to caffeine. So overall, not my favorite. And I'm hoping that maybe somebody out there who lives in Puerto Rico who sees this or has tried these coffees before can tell me maybe Gustos has a better roast. Maybe there's a different one that I should have tried. But in terms of their Peaberry, it's one that I will continue to drink. I will hope that it will evolve and change, but overall I'm not very excited about it, and I wouldn't encourage you to go out and get some on your own. I would say spend your money elsewhere and try something else. I'm waiting for my Fio coffee to arrive. Once it does, I will do a review of that. And hopefully you guys will stay tuned and check in with me again for the Fio coffee, because that's what they're doing over there is really great, and I'm hoping that the coffee is equally as great as their mission. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for tuning in this week to the Doctor's Lounge, and I will see you again real soon.